It's barbecue season at Dollar Tree, so I grabbed some bamboo skewers for barbecuing, and I decided to make a craft with them. So I just started with this little salsa jar, and I think I ended up using a little more than one full package. So I think I ended up using like 1.5. So you probably need to grab 2 packages of the smaller bamboo skewers. And what I did is, to measure around my jar, I just took a piece of twine and measured around the circumference of my jar there, and then I used that as my guide to see how many bamboo skewers would I need. So just lay out a bunch of bamboo skewers and probably go over by about 1 inch, because I feel like I did extra, and then once I attached them to my jar, I only had 1 left over, probably because the difference in size between where it's touching the jar versus the outside of the skewers. I'm sure there's a mathematical reason for that, but please don't ask me why. I had to Google how to divide fractions for my 5th grader the other day. So anyway, so then I just grabbed my heavy duty craft scissors and I just started cutting the skewers down to varying lengths. So you can see I kind of grouped my skewers into 4 different groups because I wanted 4 varying heights: short, less short, medium, and tall. And so then once I had cut my first one, I used that as my guide. So here I have quite a few done already. And there's not that much of a height difference between them because this is such a short jar to begin with. Less, maybe 1/2 inch height difference between them all. And then also, if you want to be extra thrifty, on some of my shorter cuts, I realized I could get 2 cuts out of 1 bamboo skewer. So that'll save you some skewers as well. So you don't have to throw away a bunch of unused pieces of bamboo stick there. But once I had everything cut, this is my lazy girl method. Lay down parchment paper. When you're painting something like wood beads or something, and you're like, I don't want to paint one side and wait, and then paint the other side, and it's a really lightweight object that doesn't have a lot of contact area with your work table, paint on parchment paper, paint all the sides, and just let it dry on parchment paper. It'll be good enough. I quickly realized here that the way to go was not by holding each individual wooden stick and painting it, but by grabbing 5 little bamboo skewer pieces, setting them down on the parchment paper, and then painting directly on the parchment paper. And because this is an unfinished wood surface, it does take a fair amount of brushing back and forth to get that paint to really soak into that wood surface. But here I have all of my little bamboo skewers painted and dried. Oh, and before I forget, this is Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in the color Blush Pink, 36208, Blushed Pink. And so then I just kind of lined everything up. So because these are staggering in height, I lined everything up first just to make sure that I liked the interval and the spacing of the different heights, and I kind of moved some around. I was like, I don't want 5 tall skewers right next to each other. Let me space them out a little bit more. And then from there, I just grabbed some thick, heavy-duty double-sided tape. So if you're using a permanent double-sided tape, something really heavy-duty, this was a wider tape, so I only added 2 pieces around my jar. But if you're using thinner, Scotch tape, that's permanent double-sided Scotch tape, I would probably do 4 strips around the jar. And make sure it goes all the way around the jar so there's no empty spots, because you need that tape to make the bamboo skewers stick. So then I just started. Make sure your first one is perfectly straight up and down, because that's going to impact everything else. But just start pressing those skewers right into that double-sided tape and work your way all the way around the glass jar. Give the skewers one final squeeze to make sure they're really stuck onto that double-sided tape. And then I just grabbed some lace ribbon. This is also from Dollar Tree. And I tied a very simple bow around my vase. I finished this off with just some inexpensive grocery store flowers from Trader Joe's. This would make a great gift for Mother's Day or teacher appreciation, just a cute, unique little vase idea.